Welcome back to the castle. We're the Kings of Honor. My name is Sharpo.
I'm Sir Ivory Knight.
We put together the latest gameplay footage of Knights of Honor 2, so let's check it out.
Shopo. So I see here that we're starting out as a country called Mecklenburg, and I'm an English speaker, and I know you're a German speaker. So how does one pronounce Mecklenburg right?
You sure did pronounce it right for an English speaker, but over here we say Mecklenburg. Sounds a little
Okay.
bit rough. Yeah, I know it's just
It
German.
sounds like iceberg almost, like Mecklenburg.
Mecklenburg.
That's
Mecklenburg.
nicer sounding.
Okay, now over here we can see something like using a knight to improve relations with Denmark.
Right up here, just at the top where the knight portraits are, I've started noticing as I see all this gameplay footage that the knights are all color coded. So the red here is clearly for marshals, the orange for merchants, and the green for diplomats. Shoppo, how do you feel about the color palette here? Is it maybe too light or too dark or too bright for you, or do you have any opinions on this?
In general, I think they fit into the whole picture, and they also fit to the job of the knights. I mean, green for diplomacy, red for martial. I really like it. What I'm not so sure about, the orange and green looks pretty boring and plain. Like there is no structure applied to it. Like with the martial, it looks like a carpet or some velvet or something. That would be nice, a nice little detail.
Yeah, maybe some tiny details on the different colors that are different would give a bit more flavor to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Shoppo, so there's this icon to the top right of the screen we see here, and the first portrait seems to be a portrait of our king, and the second portrait where there's like right after there's like two swords clashing, and there's another portrait. And me and you, we discussed a lot about this, and neither of us came to any idea of what it possibly the heck it could be. So people out there who are going to watch this, please tell us what your idea of this is. We have no clue what it is. What feature could this be in the game? Leave a comment in the description below.
Next up, we can see that Pomerania declared war on Mecklenburg. Okay, and one major change, and probably the most important and the best, as I'd say, is that they put the dungeon to a separate area, so prisoners are not at the royal court anymore. You can see it over here. It's the crossed swords left to the royal court.
And right here, we see a battle being completed, and there it is. The guy goes straight to the dungeon, right where you were talking about, Chapo.
Yeah, perfect scene for it. Now we see one way to access the dungeon. We see the prisoner in the dungeon and the possible actions we can take to get them out. Right here, he tries to execute the prisoner, but the prisoner manages to escape from the dungeon.
Yeah, it's really nice to see the devs show us in this new gameplay footage the new prisoner mechanics that they kind of discussed in the most recent dev diary. And right up here, just underneath the king's portrait, we see a tiny scroll icon. And again, me and Trouble don't know what it is, so leave a comment in the description below. Tell us what it is, or what you think it is. It might be useful for us to have some ideas here.
And what I really like and really enjoyed to see that this building order right here, or the building menu, now has no placeholders. We see a lot of beautiful buildings, a lot of beautiful pictures. We talked about this earlier in our last video, where you could see some placeholders. Make sure to check it out. We're gonna put the link up on the video.
So for our viewers, there's some cuts here, and we're kind of now in the future. And we actually have, or Mecklenburg has recaptured McLuz, who escaped our first execution. But it's going to look like our second execution here is going to be a bit successful.
So this dialogue shows that we destroyed a kingdom. And one pretty cool feature, and you gotta check this out, one pretty cool feature which is new to Knights of Honor 2 is that if you destroy a kingdom, then the prisoner of that kingdom move over to your dungeon. And right here, it is that now he has 2 prisoners in his dungeon. So that's new. That's an innovation, and I really like this one.
And it happens very quickly right here. But we see Prussia declare war, and yeah, there it is. So for the next part of this video, it's basically just going to be this player defending Prussia as best as they can, and we're going to see some rushed recruitment coming up, and it's going to get a bit exciting.
In this section, we can see 2 things. At first, we see a mercenary camp. It's right next to Gdansk, a little bit beneath it. The camp with the yellow and the black flag. And then we can see the river crossing. There is this red army taking a pause, then the camera moves away, and when it moves back, you can see this army is continuing its movement. And the mechanic behind it is that river crossings, armies now in Knights of Honor 2 don't cross rivers as easy as in Knights of Honor 1, but they take some time to cross them.
Yeah, it gives a moment for somebody to ambush.
True. Yeah, true. And they're easier to attack. They're weaker in their defense. You want to attack them.
So here, we're going to look at a little bit of defense by Norway against the tyranny of Sweden. And the Norwegian army goes in there, defends a bit. Shoppo, you mentioned you still don't like the way these battle scenes look?
Yeah, I just recognized it and I still got annoyed. Like, again. I mean, it's yeah, that just kind of looks silly. I think they will fix it, but at this point they obviously haven't fixed it. They should move the armies more together.
For our viewers, we see here the king of Sweden did get captured by that battle, and that's going to give us a big bargaining chip on the peace table, and we're going to offer him up as a juicy piece to encourage peace. Increases our nobility opinion because we released a high noble from our dungeons. What do we see here, Shoppo?
Oh, we see some nice pink field to the left of this dialogue. I still wonder what it is.
On the shoreline of Jerusalem? That's what you're talking about? This like pink field? Yeah, it is so strange. I don't know what that's about.
Maybe it's poppy fields. Or
poppy drugs. We might need some drugs because this guy playing Kingdom of Jerusalem just decided to change the faith of Jerusalem from Catholic to Shia, and or was it Sunni or Shia? One or the other. And he's getting rebels everywhere now, so he's gonna have to deal with that. It's gonna be a rough gameplay probably. And I don't imagine he's got many friendly countries nearby him, or maybe he does now because he changed faith. That might be why he's doing it. That would make a lot of sense. Some battles trying to keep the rebels at bay. We see some a bit of different icons for the desert battles. They look a bit different, which is in theme. That's good.
It looked kind of like little children throwing rocks or something.
Yeah. Now we cut to a new place in Spain, Toledo. Or I apologize. That's probably not how you pronounce it. And we're gonna look like we're making some kind of diplomatic interaction with the Almohads, which I probably also pronounced wrong. And I think here we're also going to see some of those poppy fields that we mentioned earlier. Right there to the right. Yeah. And this is going to kind of be near the end of our second gameplay footage and commentary on it all. We see cool, beautiful coloration of the map on the bottom right of all the different countries. It kind of looks nice to look at. I like how it pops out at you with all those colors.
All right, and this wraps up the second video for gameplay of Knights of Honor 2. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're going to keep you posted on everything happening around Knights of Honor 2. Thank you for tuning in.
And may the sun always shine on all of you.